Good evening, folks. It's Connie from Distraction News, your news network that really isn't newsworthy. Anyway, let's just jump right in. First story of the day, face masks. So, face masks, you gotta give it to the entrepreneurial spirit of America, right? Because in China, they're still wearing face masks that kind of look like the blue hospital masks you would don if you were going to the doctor's office. Not here, not in America. Oh no, those folks just opened up their Etsy accounts and fired away. We're gonna see Louis Vuitton face masks coming our way, Chanel face masks coming our way, Gucci face masks, because let's face it, if us Americans have to wear a face mask, we're doing it in style. Am I right? Kim Kardashian is not gonna be seen in a blue hospital mask. You know what I mean? That won't look good on her Insta post, but this will. Anyway, now on to the real news. Well, you know what I mean. This just in, folks, Michigan in a real pickle, Not a pickle jar, because those are disgusting, where they let the pickle sit for a long time and you go and dare one of your friends, hey, would you eat this pickle if I paid you $100? I'm not talking about that pickle. What I am talking about is a pickle called no wine. No wine in Michigan. It's bad enough that these people have been locked up in their homes and they're now arresting citizens for actually trying to make a living. Who am I to say? I don't know what's right and I don't know what's wrong. I'm just here to report the news. But what's coming out of Michigan is you can't get wine shipped to Michigan. That's a problem for those folks who can't leave their house to go to the liquor store. We are trying to help them out by shipping them alcohol, and it simply won't go. They won't deliver it to any folks who live in Michigan. Anyway, another topic for today. Say, you remember those two doctors that really started the whole social media frenzy, and they kept having their videos taken down? I wish I could remember their names, but these are the folks right here. They were in an original documentary, or I should say hour-long interview, that consisted of them basically saying that in order for people to build up immunity, you have to be around other people. It's crazy, I know. So they were saying that if we're kind of locked up in our houses for like a month, it's kind of like when kids go back to school. What do you think happens? Everyone gets sick. So now we've been holed up in our houses for about, I don't know, 10, maybe 12 weeks by the time this is all over. And they're saying that we need interaction, that we shouldn't be wearing face masks. Tune in for more to come on these two, because if you can find a YouTube video on it, it might be worth watching. Link below. Anyway, Hong Kong flu. Speaking of getting sick, back in around the 60s, I think that's when Woodstock was, Hong Kong flu hit America. Not to be confused with Hong Kong Phooey. He's faster than the human eye. Faster than you and I. Yep, it was a great show back in the 70s. Anyway, back to Hong Kong flu. Hong Kong flu hit America, and it actually had a high death rate and a high spread rate. So people are comparing the Hong Kong flu of the 60s to what is happening right now. Some differences. We didn't have social media. Some differences. We didn't have 24-hour news feeds. Some differences. They didn't stop concerts or shut down the public. In fact, one of the largest concerts in history took place during the Hong Kong flu pandemic. It was called Woodstock. Not Woodstock. That's a whole different accent. Anyway, it was called Woodstock. Google it. You might find some interesting things out. But the Hong Kong flu, same death rate. Actually a little higher. Same pandemic. Obviously different, not a virus. Well, actually was a virus because it was a flu. I'm not a doctor, people, nor am I a real newscaster, but I do know that there was a flu previously, and we had a big ass concert right smack dab in the middle of it, and people were okay. Nobody sheltered in place. Nobody wore face masks. I don't know. Is it just me, or is this thing just a tad political? Like, I'm wondering, what will take place first? Will they keep us in our house until we are basically sheltered from every virus known to mankind? Or will the election take place? Anyway, up next, gypsy moths. Gypsy moths, yep. So if it wasn't bad enough that we were going to have to endure the murdering hornets coming our way and stabbing our friends right in front of our eyes, then we were going to see, well, folks, before I get to the gypsy moths, I need to tell you about the rabid rabbits. You say that 3 times and you won't be saying it again. It's a real tongue twister too, kind of like the 5-phase plan of J.G. Wentworth. Rabid rabbits are running amok, and it probably in your backyard. If you see one of these things, run the other way. Actually, I have a policy about running. I don't do it unless I'm being chased by something. Most likely by somebody with a knife or by one of these. If I see one of these coming at me, I'm going to run. If you see me running because my policy is not to run, there's no need for it unless you are in danger, then you should run too. So if you see one of these, hightail your ass out of there because it was coming at you to murder you. Speaking of murdering, so now we have land sharks, we have murdering hornets, and we have rabid rabbits. Not to be confused with the little ones that hop around in your backyard. Even those are a nuisance though, because they eat your plants. I don't know what to do. I'm not really a bunny fan, I gotta be honest. Unless it's Bugs Bunny. He certainly was funny. Anyway, gypsy moths. That's what I'm here to report. Gypsy moths. Now, what does one think of when they think of a gypsy moth? Is it a moth that wears like hippie type clothes and carries a tambourine around and sings to us? I don't know. One doesn't know. Maybe gypsy moths are also going to California. Maybe they're looking for a Mr. Tambourine Man. Maybe they like Monday or don't like Monday. I mean, every other day of the week is fine except for Monday. Am I right? Anyway, so going back to face masks. Okay. We were doing a little op-ed piece here at Distraction News because, like I said, we're a full news service. And what we were thinking of is we were thinking of all of the things that people are supposed to do, but they don't do. Okay. So really, we were thinking, you probably shouldn't go to the store when you're not feeling well. And you probably shouldn't openly cough in public, right? And when you're wearing your face mask, one shouldn't tug at it, but we're going to anyway. So then it really just drove us down a rabbit hole, not to be confused with the rabid rabbits, just a regular rabbit hole of things that we probably do, but we shouldn't do. Just kind of makes you wonder. Just makes you wonder. So we defy these things all the time. Like when I think of the family size lotion. A family size lotion is a pretty large lotion. Do you really share it with your family or do you just keep it all to yourself? Well, I'm thinking you probably keep it all to yourself. Most people do. Most people have their own lotions for each person inside the house. You know, I don't know, but I'm just saying, should you purchase a family-sized lotion for yourself? Are you going to use it for the rest of eternity? Because that's basically what a family-sized lotion will do. It'll keep you lotioned up for an eternity. Next thing we thought of is flushable wipes. Flushable wipes are the best invention known to mankind. I mean, I think truly if you're thinking of the best thing since sliced bread, we talked about it here on Distraction News, it's a flushable wipe. I mean, isn't it unsavory to go to the bathroom without using a flushable wipe if you're doing number 2? You can't get it clean with a tissue. A piece of toilet paper is not going to suffice without a flushable wipe. Very rarely does a human being have a legitimate clean break when you're going number 2. And therefore, if it is few and far between that a clean break takes place, then you've got a mess going on down there and you need a flushable wipe. So if you're not using a flushable wipe, then you should be. And if you would like my opinion, I don't get paid for this, but a Charmin is really good. I did like a flushable wipe tasting. No, that's not a taste test. That's disgusting. A test, a flushable wipe test of all sorts of different flushable wipes. I apparently have a lot of time on my hands. Anyway, I was on the search for the perfect flushable wipe, and I found it, and it's Charmin. Target brand ranks up there pretty well. Not the one that is found in the kids aisle, but the one that is found in the flushable wipe aisle. Oddly enough, they're different. You've got to trust me on this one. Anyway, 2 flushable wipes per wipe, per flush. 2 flushable wipes per flush is what you're supposed to do. We don't do it. I am sure and confident, because I've had to clean up that shit literally. We do more than 2. It says it right on the package. 2 wipes per 1 flush. 2 wipes per 1 flush. What kind of mess do you have if you're using more than 2 wipes per flush, people? Jump in the shower if that's the case. You've got a problem on your hands. And then watch what you're eating for your diet, because there's something wrong with your dietary habits if you're needing more than 2 flushable wipes per flush. Anyway, another thing that we don't do. You know what we don't do? Now, there's a lot of people who do. Like, I look at the back of the Advil jar, and it says 2 Advil, and no more than 2 Advil every 4 to 6 hours. I've seen people pop 6 of those things at the same time. We don't listen to that. It's advice. It's advisory. Antibiotics and alcohol. How many times have you had alcohol while you're taking an antibiotic? We do it all the time. We do it all the time. My point here is, people, that we're being told to stay at home. What in the world makes people think that we aren't going to disregard these rules? We can't even follow an instruction on the back of a jar of an Advil that will kill us if we had more than 2. We'll just take 6, dump it in our hands, and just pop it all. Who cares, right? Anyway, running with scissors. That's another one. You could kill yourself. You literally could kill yourself running with scissors. People do it all the time. Texting and driving. I mean, do we have to even say this? Get off your phone while you're driving your vehicle. You're driving a motorized vehicle that could smash into something else and blow us all to sky high. Anyway, I need a break after that one. Paying attention while driving. Do we really need to say this? Do we have to point it out? You need to pay attention while you're driving. See, there are things that people do all the time when we defy rules. So we're just going to defy these rules. Social distancing, wearing masks, not wearing gloves. You see it all the time, right? You see it now. You go to the grocery store. Costco's like, come on in. We're running specials here. Get in the door. We need money. We need to generate money, people. We need to get back to business. Anyway, speaking of getting back to business, you know, a lot of people have compared these times to the Armageddon or Hunger Games, or we're getting close to being the Divergent series, quite frankly. And when I think about them, I think, you know, when I envisioned in my mind what I would be wearing when the apocalypse came, I didn't envision sweatpants and sad sacks with sweatshirts, no makeup, and looking haggard. I looked like Katniss from Hunger Games, like I had my shit together and was really gonna go out there and kick some zombie ass. Am I right? I didn't picture what reality would look like. Anyway, speaking of reality, I pictured I'd look more like my Bitmoji. You know, she's really got her shit together all the time. She always looks on point, her hair's always done perfectly, and she's funny. I want to be her one day. One day I'm going to be my Bitmoji. That's what we should all aspire to be. Anyway, Dr. Fauci coming under hot hot interrogations right now as to whether folks should be wearing face masks or shouldn't. Because back when the pandemic broke out here in America, he said, don't wear face masks. For the love, people, stop looking so stupid and thinking you need to wear face masks. That's not for you. That's only for the medical profession. Seriously, take the face masks off. It's not for you. You're doing more harm than good. Don't wear face masks. Get the face mask off. You do not need face masks. Fast forward to 2 days ago, interview on PBS and then 60 Minutes. You should absolutely be wearing face masks out in public. I mean, if you're not wearing face masks, you're doing yourself and the people around you a disservice because your potential to spread the virus is even more. I mean, is he even a real doctor? I don't know. Doctor of infectious diseases? When's the last time the man's practiced? You can't pendulum swing that much, Dr. Fauci. Wear face masks, don't wear face masks. I mean, come on, man. We're looking to you for advice. Anyway, speaking of advice, J.G. Wentworth has more to talk about on the 5-phase plan. I've gotten that tongue twister all put together. The 5-phase plan is now going to be entering phase 3 in approximately 3 weeks. No, sorry, 15 days. 15 days. I can do math. In 15 days, we will be entering phase 3. If we keep our shit together. Don't blow it now, people. We gotta keep the rate of infection under 20% positivity. And if we do that, we can all go back to a life that we love so much. If we don't, it's like that one kid that keeps acting up in the kindergarten classroom and we all have to miss recess. And you know who I'm talking about, kid. Anyway, we don't want to be that kid. So just keep it together. Keep it together, people. Don't ruin it for the bunch of us. Don't ruin it for the bunch of us. We want our lives back. We're going to get them back. Just take a pause for the cause. Pump the brakes a little bit. It will all be over soon enough and we can go back to, well, what we call the new normal, according to J.G. Wentworth. And if you need some cash, he does still have that program going on, 877 Cash Now. So don't forget about that. Anyway, special shout out to this gal right here. Yep, Jen turned 30 plus a couple of years, give or take a few, today. And we just want to celebrate her special day by saying happy birthday. And we love you here at Distraction News. You go on, girl, with your badass self. Anyway, so we decided to start giving ourselves a little bit of our own infomercial inside of Distraction News. Not that we get paid for any of this shit, but I thought you folks would want to know. We've been trapped inside now, safe at home. We've been safe at home for ever, is what it feels like. We've been safe at home forever. Anyway, I just wanted to let you folks know that I found something. I found something at a local Target. You know why? Because I needed it. I haven't had a pedicure in quite some time, almost 3 months, people. And, you know, when you keep your feet in socks. Anyway, I ended up with some cracked heels. In this picture, yeah, I'm not ashamed to say it. I had cracked heels, and I don't want to have cracked heels. It felt like I was rubbing my sheets with sandpaper, and the sandpaper was on my body. I didn't like it, and I didn't want it like that anymore. And so, naturally, what is a girl to do? Well, she usually runs to her pedicure place to get a pedicure, but can't do that right now. So what did I do? The next best thing. I ran to Pinterest is what I did, people, and I was like, how do you cure cracked heels? And all of these miracle things came up, soak it in all sorts of stuff. Like there was one that said you soak it in apple cider vinegar, sounds disgusting, and one that said try Listerine. You know what? I didn't want to do any of that because I was like, hey, there probably is a product out there that can cure cracked heels. And I am right, there was. Plethora. There's that word again. Sure do love it. Anyway, there is a plethora of products out there, and I happen to find this one right here. How did they do it on Instagram? I'm not sure. This, let's get a close-up of it, okay? O'Keefe's Healthy Feet. That's what we love here at Distraction News. So, If you, too, are suffering from cracked heel or any dryness on your feet, let me tell you, this shit's the bomb. That's all I have to say. And that's all we have for you today at Distraction News. Always be safe out there, folks, and remember, it's a shit show.